Werburgh or Werburgh was an Anglo-Saxon princess who became an English saint and the patron saint of Chester. Her feast day is the 3rd of February. Life. She was born at Stone, and was the daughter of King Wolfgang of Mercia and his wife Saint Hermenilda, herself daughter of the King of Kent. She obtained her father's consent to enter the Abbey of Ely, which had been founded by her great-aunt Etheldreda, the first abbess of Ely and former Queen of Northumbria, whose fame was widespread. Werburgh was trained at home by St. Chad, and by her mother, and in the cloister by her aunt and grandmother. Werburgh was a nun for most of her life. During some of her life she was resident in Wiedenbeck, Northamptonshire. Werburgh was instrumental in convent reform across England. She eventually succeeded her mother Ermenilda, her grandmother Sixbur, and great-aunt Etheldreda as 4th abbess of Ely. Werburgh died on the 3rd of February 700. She was buried at Hanbury in Staffordshire and her remains were later transferred to Chester, of which church and monastery she became the great patroness. Legends. The most famous legend relates to the story of a goose that St. Werburgh restored to life. It is said that she banished all the geese from the village of Wiedenbeck, Northamptonshire, and that to this day no geese will settle in the village. There is a stained glass window in the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul, Wiedenbeck, Northants, showing the story. Cult. By the year 708 her brother Cenred had succeeded as King of Mercia. He now decided to move his sister's body to a more conspicuous place within the church at Hanbury. Her body was found to be miraculously intact. This was considered to be a sign of divine favor, and her tomb therefore became an object of veneration and a center for pilgrimage. Her brother is said to have been so affected by this miracle that he decided to abdicate and enter holy orders himself. It is possible that the anecdote about the saint reviving the goose dates from this time. The shrine of St. Werburgh remained at Hanbury for the next 160 years or so, but due to the threat from Viking raiders in the 9th century, the shrine was relocated in 875 to the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul, which lay within the protection of the city walls of Chester. During the Middle Ages, the badge of a basket of geese was adopted as proof of having made a pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Werburgh. The city of Chester therefore became the focus for the cult of Werburgh. Sometime later, the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul was rededicated to St. Werburgh and St. Oswald around the year 975, when a monastery was also built in the names of these two saints. In 1057 the church was rebuilt and further endowed by Leofric, Earl of Mercia. By this time, St. Werburgh was regarded as the protector and patron saint of the city. After the supposed miraculous withdrawal of the Welsh king Gruffydd ap Llywelyn from a siege of the city, St. Werburgh remained popular after the Norman conquest. In 1093, the Norman Earl of Chester, Hugh Ches, better known as Hugh the Wolf, to the Welsh, further endowed the abbey and its church. He also established a Benedictine monastery, with monks from Bec Abbey in Normandy, which had provided the first two post-conquest archbishops of Canterbury, Lanfranc and Anselm. Like many other Anglo-Norman barons, Hugh Ches entered the monastery himself shortly before he died. He was buried therein. The abbey became Chester Cathedral in 1540 and was rededicated to Christ and the Blessed Virgin Mary. An elaborate shrine had been constructed in the 14th century, but did not survive the reign of Henry VIII. When the abbey was dissolved, the shrine was broken up and the remains of the saints scattered. The various remains of the shrine that survived were collected together in 1876, reassembled, and now remain on display to this day at the Lady Chapel of the cathedral. Today, St. Werburgh remains the patron saint of Chester. Her feast day is the 3rd of February. At least 10 churches in England, and some overseas, are dedicated to her, including the Church of St. Werburgh's at Wembury, near Plymouth, Devon, and St. Werburgh's Church, Dublin, a suburb of Bristol, in the southwest of England, just north of the city centre, is named St Werburgh's. A village in Kent is named to St Werburgh. A station on the Manchester Metrolink line to East Didsbury is called St Werburgh's Road.